Stand by for action.
Hi there, it's Joseph here at Edge Dynamics, making a shave video, and the sun is not playing along, so I'm going to have to squint a little bit. But I've got a few razors here. This one I've restored. It's a Paragon, and it's set in ivory, and it's got an ivory tang, or an ivory tang cover. As you can see, beautiful razor. We had some rust here which I had to sort out. And I'll go into a bit of detail later. It's a wedge, but it's a really fine wedge, which is interesting. Put a drop of oil on it now, just wanted to show it you without the oil. I'll hone this up. The heel isn't, the heel's not done. It needs another honing, which is fine because that's what I'll do after this. I'm doing all my restoration work now on a 1K, so you know, often they need a bit more honing than I'm giving them really straight off the bat for a restoration, but prefer just to stay on the 1K now. I've got a customer's TI Dominator, and I did something a little bit different with this honing wise, so I just got to test it. I think it's Coca-Cola scales, and this barber's notch, this thumb notch is a real pain to strop this razor. It's really, really awkward, but you know, it is what it is. And the second razor I've got customers which I've got to test, which is this Wade & Butcher. It had been reground and it just wouldn't shave, so I had a look at the bevel angle, and the bevel angle was over 20 degrees. And what had happened was the spine was like genuine, or it was all full, but the edge was 4mm short, so the bevel angle was screwed up. So I just quickly took the spine down a bit, and I just a light satin finish just to get it done, and also I trimmed the heel a little bit because that was just sticking out. And the bevel angle now on this is coming out at 17. So, I mean, this is a problem. I don't know where he bought this from, but I'm assuming it was eBay. That's the kind of problems you get. Right, I've got the Plisson in horn, high mountain. I decided to give this a go. I think I've only used it once before, and I wasn't impressed, at least not with the soft tin, but probably user error. I've got really annoying amount of growth on me. I'm desperate to get it off. Go for a splash, touch more. No. So it doesn't like a lot of water. Firstly, we'll try the TI, the Dominator, and this one I honed it because I've got new Nagoras, and I picked up the first Nagora and I thought, that's the Botan, yep, that's the one. And when I'd finished with it, I realised it was the Majiro, so I just went on to the Coma and then the Tomo. I really don't like the thumb notch there. I mean, look, you actually need to hold it before the thumb notch. So what's the point of a thumb notch if you can't really use it? I see that with all thumb notches really. Yeah, it's really nice. I say it's really nice, I can't actually feel anything, and that's how it should be. There's no feeling, so that's good. There's no need for a Tenju or a Botan on this particular occasion. Yeah, that's quality. Plus to get a really soft edge on a TI, that's good. That's good work, but I can't take all the plaudits for that. It's the stone actually. My Azuku Kita seems to be becoming more and more powerful the more I use it, and I normally wouldn't use it with customer razors, but I'm just sticking with it now exclusively, just on the Kita. Now let's see what the Wade and Butcher does. Yeah, that's good. So the Wade and Butcher, I did something different with this as well. Yeah, I went 1K bevel set, and then I went Coma and Tomo and water, finished on water. So, because I could see the steel, it didn't want a lot of work on the Kita, on the Azuka Kita. It was telling me to do minimum, so I skipped along. Now for the Daddy, which is the Paragon. Beautiful little razor. Yeah, that's nice. Yeah, it's got hardly any weight to it. It's a wedge, as I said, it's a fine wedge. But it's really light. Yeah, this razor, you can probably see that the scales and the tang are two different pieces of ivory. This is a darker piece. But actually, just inside the pin, just to the right of the pin here is another pinhole. And that pinhole is what keeps the tang cover on. So basically, to get the tang cover off, all I had to do was unpin it. I'll show you some pictures actually, you can see inside. There was in fact some pieces of paper inside, and the reason that there's paper in there excuse me, was because the top and the bottom is quite thick, it's hollowed out, and there's like 5mm on top of ivory and on the bottom, but on the sides it's really thin, and you can sort of see the tang through the ivory, so they put some paper in there to cover that. And that's why a lot of times with these razors you get a crack along there. It's because this part is actually really thin on both sides. So I didn't put that paper back in. I've got some basically it's like metallic paper and it's white. So I put that in there because that's nice and durable, and then I actually sealed it with a bit of epoxy. And that'll just stop any water getting in there and just seals it up nicely. But there was an issue with this, and it's an issue I've got because I've got a few of these, and the issues with these is oil staining in the ivory, and I've pretty much sorted that out really. And there she goes. Just can't beat a straight razor, can you? But I have got a backlog of honing, and I'm really enjoying it now because of the Yuzuki Kita. And plus I've got new Nagoras, and I've got a few sets. Oh, that's nice. And as soon as I finish this, I mean we're quite early in the day here. Right, it's 11 o'clock. But basically I need to get in the workshop and I'm making some scales. And I'm working on the wedge. Yeah, it's a really nice razor. I mean, you wouldn't even know that the heel is not set properly. I don't know if other people actually, don't know if people actually use the heel on a razor. I do for the sideys, but yeah, this is a good shave. Thing is with these razors, I've used PVC spacers or inner washers to stop the black gunk, and I'm starting to think that they should be used on all razors really, because what I'm saying is that it's okay to use it on the dark scales, so just because you can't see it, but I mean there's always going to be swarf. You got metal on metal, even with the plastic washers, there's going to be some amount of swarf. Plus you've got the pivot pin. Yeah, basically I think that all razors should have plastic washers. It's going to reduce the swarf. So wherever possible, I'm going to be using PVC spacers from now on. Right, and the sun's come back out. Going to be using the Silver Mountain water. That's washed out. Yeah, that's really smooth. That's a really good shave. And that's about it. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Cheers.